Hey guys, it's Noah here from iHollywood TV. Well, coming up today, we're going to share with you some of the shows and movies that you cannot miss this month. AnnaLynne, McCord, and Lydia Hearst are previewing their new Tubi original movie, Titanic 666. IMDB TV's Pretty Hard Cases is back for a second season, so Meredith, MacNeill, and Adrienne are telling us everything that we should know about the new season arriving Friday, April the 22nd. And then finally, Frankie Grande is starring in Nickelodeon's crossover event When Worlds Collide. He is here to tell us all about the big event. But first, let's go to a sneak peek of AnnaLynne and Lydia's new movie. The third installment in the Titanic franchise, Titanic 666, is now streaming exclusively on Tubi.
110 years after the launch of the original, Titanic 3 will set sail in just a few hours on the same path as her namesake.
Oh my God, look at this ship!
It's the time of your life.
Okay, it's gonna be the time of my life. Ah!
It just had the name Titanic in the title, and I was like, sign me up, because my childhood self would never forgive me if I said no to that. Titanic, James Cameron's Titanic was my favorite film. I became obsessed with the actual Titanic and all of the details around it. I may or may not have thought that I was gonna marry Jack Dawson, Leonardo DiCaprio, but specifically Jack Dawson. I was gonna like bring up his ghost the way Lydia does. But it is, it's ghosts and ghouls and influencers and cosplayers. I mean, it has something for everyone in this film, but it's definitely thriller horror vibes. So if you are into ghosts and ghouls, check us out on April 15th.
Now, Lydia, we hear that you shot this film on the famous Queen Mary, so what was it like shooting out there on this massive ship?
Oh my gosh, that ship is absolutely beautiful. The same designers who actually designed the Titanic designed the Queen Mary, so there's so many similarities between the two ships. So in the middle of filming this project, I mean, you really did feel like you were on board the Titanic and stepping back in time. I mean, it really is like a time capsule. It's so gorgeous and fantastic.
Apparently, it took 10 years to build this place.
And it may look authentic, but behind these coverings and walls, state-of-the-art cruise ship.
So don't worry, Mom and Dad, we're safe.
Yeah, so safe. Safe. Oh, Jesus. Oh, sorry, man, you all right?
Do you know, if you pulled your face out of that soul-sucking device, you might actually experience some of the living history before your eyes rather than bumping into people.
Excuse me. Hi, Mr. Angry Man.
No, AnnaLynne, I hear that you've been a huge fan of Titanic since you were like a young little kid. You're obsessed with this type of franchise. So how was it like to get the role and play a character in the third film?
Well, it was definitely driving up to the Queen Mary. Something happened in my body with my little inner child. It was just like, because it literally looks like you're driving up to the Titanic, and that, you know, Lydia, that just like that first, well, and Lydia has family history with the Queen Mary, but for me, it was like, I called all of my family. I was like, it's happening. What I dreamed of when I was 9 years old. Like, it's not exactly James Cameron, everyone, so let's not get too crazy, but it is the Titanic vibes, and it was very exciting.
No, AnnaLynne, as you were speaking about this being a horror film, was there any scene in particular that really got your heart racing throughout filming?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to do my lines, and all the ghosts on the Queen Mary are like talking to me. I'm like, guys, shut up. I'm forgetting my lines while you're speaking to me. I don't know your granddaughter Elizabeth, and I can't help you. No. There were some paranormal experiences that the cast and crew were subject to on the Queen Mary. So if you are into that sort of thing, the stories are for real. It was like, you know when you, like, someone's argued and you can feel the tension in a room, you just like can feel things. Well, on the Queen Mary, it's kind of like you can feel everyone's tension, and they're not there because you're in an empty corridor and it's dark. I was like,
oh my goodness,
how does it feel like I'm walking through people and there are no people? This is very confusing. So it was a very interesting experience filming, especially that aspect of filming on the Queen Mary.
Well, thanks to AnnaLynne and Lydia for giving us more of an insight into their new movie, now playing exclusively on Tubi. I know what I will be watching this weekend. Well, if you love the first season of Pretty Hard Cases, you definitely will like season 2 even better. iHollywood TV caught up with the 2 stars of the show, Meredith MacNeill and Adrienne C. Moore.
Are you sure that he said it was this dumpster?
Yes.
Ugh. Okay. 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 I swear to God, if this is a prank.
The show is about 2 women, Samantha Wazowski and Kelly Duff, who are undercover detectives. I play Kelly. I work in Drug Squad. Well, yes, from first season. Well, things change up in season 2. And my partner in crime, Samantha Wazowski, works in Guns and Gangs. And, you'd think that this show is about, finding and tackling the criminal, but it's really about these 2 women, who they are as individuals, how they find friendship, how they navigate friendship in a professional setting, how they navigate their personal lives. Sam is a mom. Kelly is, is she single or is she not single? But how they both navigate the work-life balance, and how their friendship, especially in season 2, gets tested. We all have that friend that, it's great when things are funny, jokey, but then when you start to step on toes, things aren't so funny anymore. So this season, you really see how their friendship is tested.
I think for me, the relationship, again, between Sam and Kelly, there's much more investment. And the fact that they're not only as partners, as cops, do they rely on one another, but they start to rely on one another as friends. And they still are so different, and they have really important conversations. So there's just a lot of struggle and vulnerability. And I think that is so relatable in day-to-day, that I think that's the draw. And the fact that the writers were willing to go there and have these conversations, I think that's what's going to excite audiences.
Gotcha, Vicky. You devious little turd. I can't believe it. Your dad gives you a second chance and you make guns.
Well, at least we know she didn't pull the trigger. Unless she can eat ribs across town and shoot cops at the same time.
Everyone's excited when you get a second season of your show. So coming back, and then, me being on the other side of the pond, it's great to come back to Toronto now that I've become more familiar with the town, and, I have a friend or 2 now that I've acquired. But I really do love our cast. I really do love our crew. And, it makes it even better when you're talking about something that is pivotal in today's culture.
Well, be sure to catch Pretty Hard Cases, the 2nd season, Friday, April the 22nd on IMDB TV. Well, now it's time for our special guest this morning, dancer, actor, singer, producer, and TV host. He really does it all. Frankie Grande joined me yesterday to dish on his epic Nickelodeon crossover event, When Worlds Collide, and we had a nice conversation about the special event, and we even touched on the love that he has for his sister, Ariana Grande. Take a look.
Hi, Noah.
Hello, Frankie. Good morning. How are ya?
I'm doing great. Happy, what is it? Happy 6:43 a.m.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you could be here with us at iHollywood TV, and good morning to you. And you zoomed right on over here, and you look great, Frankie. So it's so nice to have you here with us this AM. So let's go ahead and talk about it. The upcoming Nickelodeon crossover event, When Worlds Collide. It's almost here. It's coming out tomorrow, you guys, on the network. So stars of Side Hustle, Danger Force, That Girl Lele, Tyler Perry's Young Dylan, and Warped, they're all coming together for one night. So Frankie, how honored do you feel to work with such a powerhouse cast that is our future, our next generation of adults?
It's really amazing, and I said this to everyone when I was on set with them. I literally would just look at them and be like, wow, you are all so professional and so good, because we had about, I want to say 15 leading cast members, and all of them are like a decade or more younger than I am, and they were just so professional. And to have all those people in one scene, like it could have been absolute chaos, but they knew where they hit their marks. They were professional actors, and it was an amazing thing for me to see. And I was like, wow, all of these people are gonna have wonderful careers, and I'm honored that I get to work with them right at the beginning. Some of these people, it's their first time. The cast of Warped, their show hadn't even come out when we were filming together. So it was really exciting to work with these people, like right from the ground up. It's been awesome.
Well, Frankie, I love a good crossover event. I remember when Disney Channel had one many years ago, and it featured the cast of The Suite Life of Zack and Cody, That's So Raven, and Hannah Montana, and I believe it was even titled That's So Sweet Life of Hannah Montana. It was many years ago, but it was one of my all-time favorites, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what Nickelodeon is going to put together tomorrow night for all of us. But let's talk about your character. So how was it like for you to get into character and play the villain that all of our favorite Nick stars have to come together to defeat?
It's a lot of fun to play Frankini. You know, it's a lot of energy to play Frankini. It's a lot of stretching. It's a lot of warming up because he is over here the whole time, and it's just it's very extra for a long time. And this was a special episode. I believe it's a special length, so it's longer than a normal episode. And I had a lot of dancing and choreography, and listen, I would go home exhausted after a day of shooting on this show. But it is so worth it when you see the final product. You're like, wow, it doesn't look like my shins hurt at all. Cool, that's all. I did a great job lying to the world. But it's an honor to play Frankini, and it's challenging, but it's such a huge honor. And it was great to play with people like Frankini's almost in his own world in terms of his level of energy and excitement and over the topness. So it was really great to kind of play with traditional sitcom characters and Frankini. Right. It was even funnier, I think, in my opinion.
Well, I cannot wait to watch it, Frankie. It's coming on tomorrow night on Nickelodeon, 7/6 Central. Now, you have a podcast out that you're co-hosting with Nickelodeon iHeartRadio titled Spongebob Bingepants. Oh my God, that is so clever, the title is. So how did the idea of this podcast come about? Like, were you a huge fan of SpongeBob growing up, you and Ariana?
Yes, SpongeBob Bingepants. Yes, SpongeBob was always in our TV growing up, like always during breakfast. I said I watched SpongeBob into my 30s every morning with my breakfast, whatever I was eating. And yes, my sister also a huge fan of SpongeBob. So Nickelodeon actually approached me and said, "Would you be interested in hosting our Nickelodeon SpongeBob SquarePants iHeartRadio podcast?" I was like, yes. It was the quickest yes I ever had said. I was like, of course. And it's been such a blast. I mean, on our podcast, SpongeBob Bingepants, available to stream wherever you stream your podcasts, we have interviewed almost all of the major cast members on the show. Oh, wow. And we've also had like great rewatch episodes with some of the writers of the show and some of the storyboard artists in the show. I've learned more about animation on my podcast than I ever thought possible. And it's so fascinating because I'm basically just a fan. So I think everyone that should listen, and I find it to be really enjoyable and very enlightening. Well,
everyone's got to check out Frankie's podcast, SpongeBob Bingepants. Go check it out on iHeartRadio and wherever you consume your streaming podcasts these days. But Frankie, real quick before we have to go, back during Women's History Month, you took to Instagram and shared the sweetest message to your sister Ariana. You stated that she's helped you become the person that you are today and all the amazing women that you have in your own personal life. But what is one thing that means the most to you about your sister, because you both have done so well in y'all's careers?
I would say it's that she has unconditional love and support, but at the same time, honesty, because that's the thing that I found that I needed in my life, was someone to tell me actually, like, especially during like the height of my fame and during coming off of reality TV, like you need somebody there who's going to actually tell you the truth and love you unconditionally. And she was that for me, and it was like one of the most helpful things and something that I continue to value in our relationship, and she does too, vice versa. Like we're kind of each other's, rocks in that way. So it's been we're very fortunate to have each other. I'm very blessed to call her my sister for sure.
Everyone's got to tune in to When Worlds Collide. The episode of Side Hustle airs Thursday, April the 21st, tomorrow night at 7/6 Central on Nickelodeon. Frankie Grande, you take care, you have a great day, and we appreciate your time here at iHollywood TV.
Thank you. Good night.
What a great conversation. Thank you to my guests and for all of you watching today. We will see you back here next time on iHollywood TV. Have a great day. Bye-bye.